Portugal. There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here on a Feel Good Friday with the Good Morning Portugal show, the live stream, the podcast, and of course the Portugal Club, where we will go this morning to question 44, everybody. Question 44 of the Portuguese citizenship test, which we are getting closer and closer to having in this country, some sort of test of worthiness to become a Portuguese citizen. Great coverage, reporting, insight, analysis from Daniel Reis last night before the Expats Portugal webinar on Your Will in Portugal. Reis and Pelicano, of course, help you with the configuration will that you need to have in Portugal to make sure that if you have a will in your native country, if you want that honoured, you have to have a sort of a Uber will, a switchboard will that makes sure the Portuguese state knows to revert to your original wishes from your country of origin. So that's something they do. It's something we talked about with Andrea Gonçalves last night from Reis and Pelicano. Really good session. But before we got started, Daniel was giving his thoughts and completely understanding actually people's frustration and pain, and was very good in his analysis of what's going on, because we have this continuous problem, cultural misunderstanding, I think, that when the parliament approves something, it still needs the promulgation, I think is the phrase that's used, of the president, and that won't make a massive difference, it would appear. However, it is the last hope sometimes for a piece of legislation which sounds like it's done and dusted, but it can't be put into the law until it's experience the oversight of the president. And that's where we're at with this nationality citizenship process. It still needs to go to the president, and some parts of it might be referred to the Constitutional Court, which is the last vestige of oversight on law that's being made in Portugal. So we will know soon enough. But if you want to, I'm gonna bundle that up, that clip, and hopefully it'll be published on the Expats Portugal website today, certainly over the weekend. And the webinar about Your Will in Portugal, that was last night's webinar, expert webinar, Your Will in Portugal, what expats need to know to stay protected. That will be published as ever at 6 o'clock on Sunday evening. Staying with Expats Portugal for a moment before we say a few good mornings this morning and talk about what we're doing today. Maybe you could let me know what you're doing this weekend. Send pictures of celebrating the good life here on 913-590-303. And maybe let me know if you've got any posters or publicity for what's happening in your part of Portugal over the weekend. Do let me know. It's peeing down here this morning. I actually had my tea set out under the cover of out on the front of the house. There's a kind of, is it called a stoop? But there's an area that with an overhang from above. Who doesn't like an overhang from above first thing in the morning? I know I did this morning, and sat and drank my tea there, which was very pleasant. I was getting splashed though. The rain's quite intense this morning here on the Silver Coast. How is it where you are? We know Faro suffered and struggled in part yesterday with some flooding. So be careful out there. I think there were yellow warnings that were occasionally flashing orange in some parts of Portugal. So be careful anyway. Take a brolly and don't make any unnecessary and long journeys in these weather warning parts of Portugal. It can get quite serious with flooding, and we saw that in Lisbon and Faro. So yes, okay. And let me add as well, Daniel, if you want to hear more about Daniel's analysis of the citizenship, that was also the first part of the Expats Portugal Dream Team session from 9 until 10, which was intense as well. Lots of questions, great lineup. We had Steve from Spartan. We had Gilda. Gilda was on the call. Daniel, Nunu, of course, and Pedro Franco from EI, who's the finance taxation guy. So they were kept busy for an hour. And then I was able to share my idea because Gilda wanted to say that she'd received messages from people. My goodness, it was a busy day yesterday. I was also on British TV last night. I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. But Gilda got messages after she'd rebuked me on social media about putting ice cubes. It's funny. I don't think she watches a whole lot of my output. She's very busy. But she always sees the bits that she can take offense to and shame me with, which appears to be the case with the white wine with ice cubes in. It's like, first of all, Carl, you put olive oil on your sardines, and now you're putting ice cubes in the Portuguese white wine. Can we be friends? And she got messages from people saying, have you and Carl split up? Are you not talking to him anymore? She got messages from people asking her about that. So I was able to share with her my Portugal-ise me idea that we together came up with yesterday. I want to pick it up and run with it, this Portugal-ise me thing. I think it's hilarious and great fun. And I would like to make today a little bit of a production meeting. Where can we go with this? The Lisbon lawyer, Daniel, thought it was great. Can we develop this idea? I've had loads of ideas where we might go with this since yesterday's show. Join me on my Brit Tuga transformation. I mean, it's happening anyway, but we can have a lot of fun filming it with me and other Gumpers doing things around Portugal. You know, we could make some great, hilarious, fun events together and film them, showing our transformation from wherever you're from to being a little bit more Portuguese in the Portugal-ise me idea. Daniel loved it. It seemed to go down quite well. And in a way, it's my, what's the word? Atonement, isn't it? For the sins I've committed here of putting olive oil on sardines and putting ice cubes in my white wine and God knows many other things, including speaking Portuguese, having a go, but very murdering the language from time to time. And putting memes on the screen like this, La Patisserie, this sort of thing. So do let me know. That's the croissant de merde right there. I imagine I posted that croissant picture probably a couple of years ago now. I'd be very surprised if that's still available. I don't think that would have gone down very well, as it were. They didn't think that through. And I don't know what the food photographer was thinking, quite frankly. But anyway, or maybe it was April the 1st, I don't know. Okay, so Portugal-ise me, your ideas this morning, if you will. What should we do together in the Portugal-ise me documentary or process? And I'm sure this gentleman will have a few ideas for me, and I'd love to make some video with him on this very subject there. Good morning to you, Terence Austin. Talking about Brummies this morning with Paul Rees, an interesting and hilarious exchange this morning. I do like to have a few conversations on WhatsApp before the show gets started. So if you want to do that, 913-590-303 as well. Claire McGonigal joining us, a fantastic 50s, of course, she joins us. And she has an interesting view of life, does she not? As we find invariably when she joins us she thinks it's the last Friday. I think it's the fourth Friday. This month there was one of each. She wasn't here last week, so obviously she's here this morning instead. She's going to be talking about homeschooling, which was something she did, I think, ahead of that pandemic curve when loads of people suddenly became homeschoolers. Some people never stopped after that. Some people were delighted that they could send their kids back to school. But we're talking about education, and I'm sure you'll have something to say about that. So any correspondence, please, in the chat or on 913-590-303. We've got the Portuguese citizenship test question number 44 and something we didn't get to yesterday, which was where do Portuguese look for news? I'm hoping a few more of them will come here in the morning. Bring your news, Portuguese people who would graciously be exchanging and interchanging with us, mainly in English here. But I mean, if we can help at all, if we know that Portuguese people love to learn and speak English, or many of them do. So if we can help you in any way at all with this output in the morning, we'd love to do that. And we'd love you to bring your news to us and educate us foreigners. Always very happy to be visited by Portuguese people, which is slowly happening with the Portugal Club and Good Morning Portugal. And I'm very grateful for our vizinhos português, including Antonio F, João F, who send us, and others who send us information that we can share with you. Oh, look at this. I can put the QR code on the other side of the screen. Every morning, it seems, the little elves of StreamYard have been messing about in the background. Well, not messing about, but adding things to the already rich picture of what we can use and enjoy on StreamYard. And so, look, I can move the QR code to the other side of the screen. And actually, yeah, as I was saying yesterday, if you've got if you're moved to support what we're doing, you can do that. Actually, there are two look, they're different. I've added another QR code if you want to look at the different ways you can support the Portugal Club, or even just want to join up free. Flash your camera over that QR code, and that will take you to the page where you can jump right on in. Well, I think that just about whets your appetite for the show ahead this morning. Feel Good Friday, if you've got something of especially good cheer. I do like to think of us as the positive Portuguese start to the day, and we definitely had a defector from. If you want to out yourself as a defector for mainstream news on the morning that we talk about Portuguese mainstream news, it has to be said. If you want to out yourself as a defector from the mainstream narratives and news sources, and you've come here to Good Morning Portugal, where we do talk about serious things, but perhaps in a more light-hearted way, if at all possible. That's what we do here to start your day between 8 and 9 every weekday morning, and it's my pleasure to do so. How are you doing this morning? Let's find out. Portugal. Yes, that's one way of looking at it for sure, Adrian. Good morning to you. Bon dia, alegria, Gumpus from T-Duck as well at 7:40 this morning. It's Friday. It's a hard habit to get rid of, isn't it? There is just if I suppose if you us who have spent time in corporate situations or offices or jobs or whatever, there's just something that you get conditioned into enjoying about a Friday, is there not? It's just part of our common conversation and consciousness, isn't it? That Friday, well, there's the TGIF for sure, isn't there? That permeates cultures where there's the Protestant work ethic and the 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Good morning, everyone from Gemini as well. Nice to connect with you on other platforms as well, Gemini. Thank you for your support and your likes and your comments. Generally speaking, Jackie, good morning to you. It's Feel Good Friday and it's Appreciation Day. I'm going to show my appreciation to each and every one of you this morning. Bon dia, Gumpers. It's Friday. Good morning to you, Jackie, who says also give the like button a little push, a gentle, I was going to say fondle. Probably best not to be using that word. Don't forget, hit all the all messages. I don't even know what that is, Jackie, but thank you very much for being message monitor. Thank you so much, or you will miss out on most of the crazy banter here. Some people might like to do that, though, to be fair. Jackie, what is this? It was really busy and great fun yesterday, and that's all part of this positive start in Portugal every weekday morning between 8 and 9. Morning, Mike, as well. How was lunch on Wednesday? I haven't had a chance to catch up with you, and I hope the birthday celebrations were fabulous and fun. So lots of love to your household, Bon dia Gumpers. Happy Friday from Mike and Karen there. Chris, great to have you call in. Would love to have more of that. Thank you so much for calling in yesterday, Chris. That was hilarious in part and a really nice insight into the world of work for those who still have to endure that. Carry on. We need you, Chris, paying those taxes and keeping the wheels turning of the civic society. Portugal, good morning to you, Adrian, as well. I love your comments. And they can be quite esoteric, Adrian, but nothing wrong with that. We're a broad church. I've chosen my words wisely there, I think. Portugal. Will I forever be in the land of Portugal, do you think? I suspect so, but there's nothing to stop me attempting to Portugal-ise myself. Who's coming along for that journey? Who's got ideas? I've got loads of them. Mel, good morning to you as well. Looking forward to your next appearance on the show, Simply Live Mel. And your comments, the snippets, the shorts from the conversations we have go down very well on YouTube, as I think you've discovered as well. You got a little bit of heat, didn't you, the other day? I think people missing the context and misunderstanding things, basically. Really? Oh, yeah. That happens, doesn't it? Matty, good morning to you. Bom dia, alegria a todos e feliz sexta-feira. Good morning to you, Matty. Would love to see one of your little reports from the Quinta. Probably not a good day to do it today, Matty, but I always love getting an update from you, seeing what's going on at the Quinta. And haven't heard from Jazz for a little while either, but we must do that. We must get together. And Lee McGrady, remember him? It'd be nice to have a chat with him sometime soon as well. So let's make that happen. Hola, bon dia, Malta. Congratulations on your staring role. It did look like I was a mad guy standing in the middle of the park. It was strange how they set up that shot. It was almost like it was COVID TV. And I think we were way past that at that point. I'm pretty sure we were. It was only a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Or maybe it was longer. I don't know. But I'm trying to find it now. I'll put it on in the background because I got quite a lot of calls last night, I'll be honest, from people saying, hey, just saw you on British telly. Nice. You came across well. It was such a long time ago that I can't remember what I said. And I quite enjoyed it. Didn't remember at all what I said, but it was great fun taking part. Always love
See if
rising
I can get any
occasion.
answers on.
I'll mute that because it's
Thinking of
someone's
that in
TV
the
on
future.
your screen.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's
Let's have a
actually I
bit more
can
fun.
leave that in the background, can I? It's like being in a living room, isn't it, with a telly on, or in a Portuguese
Portugal
cafe.
to be accepted
Here we go. We're
into now too.
simulating being
Oh,
in a
what
Portuguese
prompted the
cafe.
reception for David and
Actually,
Suzanne?
before I play any more of that, thank you. I'm in my rampage of appreciation of everybody who's here this morning. Thank you, Andaro, for your wonderful contributions, most notably and most recently, your train ride that you shared with us. People wandering about at high speed outside a train. Oh, where you can open the doors, the back door of the train, and go into the front door of the next carriage. That was extraordinary. And people just sat out there drinking wine. Portuguese health and safety at its best. Thank you for that and all your wonderful contributions, Andera, to the Good Morning Portugal show. Really appreciate it, mate. Yes, and thank you for your congratulations there. Fridays are great because usually they are followed by 2 days without work. Unless you also have a farm. Yeah, weekends are great, but they can be as equally but differently exhausting, can't they, as well, when there's loads to do, what with one thing and another. Cheers, Matty. And Coach Turner, thank you for your wonderful contribution to this community. The coach over there in the God Squad resources of the Portugal Club, fabulous 50s. There's a good crossover there with Claire, who's joining us a little bit later on. And, of course, Gentle Fitness for bon viveurs. For those who enjoy the good things in life and who want to stay fit and well, Coach Turner is at our service over there. So thanks very much, mate, for that. And that reminds me, I didn't play your video in the end, did I? I'm going to go back and find that and we'll play that. Perhaps we'll have that as our end video. Although there was some technical difficulty and that got buried and we moved on, but I'll revisit that because you took the time to make us a lovely video as well, Coach. So let me check that out as well. Bon dia a todos e feliz sexta, you say. Well, we've survived looking after the grandchildren. Well done. And seeing Carlo, you survived seeing me on the TV last night. Nice to see the Silver Coast being promoted on mainstream TV. Yes, that's what it was. It was A Place in the Sun. This is it running in the background now. So I'm actually simulating what it's like to be in a Portuguese cafe with the TV on a wall.
Good idea for them to have a chat with someone who's already done exactly that.
Someone who's already done exactly that. There I am, standing in the middle of a park, looking a little bit, looking like my dad, actually, I thought. First time I saw that. And forgive the distorted perspective here. I think that's because it's filmed with a smartphone off someone's big flat screen telly. There they are.
I don't think so. And in many
I think
ways,
Suzanne has a word to say here.
Area, your Silver Coast is a real sweet spot of
Okay, we can hear it.
familiarity and fellow foreigners.
Fellow foreigners.
With true Portuguese culture, not far away. So culture shock is hard to find.
So how do you find it integrating yourself in the local community?
That's been one of the most fun parts. Get out, go to your local cafe, get to know a few locals, and you'll get to practice your Portuguese as well that way.
And how is your Portuguese?
Terrible.
Well, look, Carl, thank you so much. Invaluable advice.
Yes.
We've got 3 more properties to see, so we'll head off now and do that. But I'm sure you'll bump into each other soon.
Yeah, good luck.
Thanks,
Well,
Carl.
we
See you
have.
later. Yeah.
We have seen each other subsequently. David and Suzanne there, who did successfully move to Portugal. And I think that hopefully we'll see them at the karaoke on Saturday night. That's something we've got planned this weekend, the wine tasting and karaoke. Hopefully David and Suzanne will be there. So they made a successful move to the Silver Coast. Thank you. I think it was Mark Hurst from the agency team who sent me that. And thanks to all the kind words that were sent to me late last night, including people I haven't heard from for ages and family, friends. So one of my favorite shows, Place in the Sun, saw you on there. So it was really nice from that point of view as well. Last time you watched the TV, Jackie, was in Portugal. There you go. Strange things are everywhere over there, which I found funny. Never seen so many TVs in my life. Yes, actually, TVs per capita. We do pretty well here in Portugal, don't we? There's at least one TV in the Portuguese cafe. There may be more. There's a little screen where, of course, all the products are with their EPOS systems. You can probably get the Portuguese TV on those little screens as well when they're not taking money and settling up people's contas bills on there. Right. Let's go then, shall we? I'm liking this rejigged screen. We've got our data and our live status over on the right of the screen, and we're not obscuring the Barcelos cockerel anymore, which it has to be right and respectful. Let's go to the Portuguese citizenship question of the day then. And it's question number 44. I hadn't finished furnishing it. You won't be surprised to hear. Yeah, it was really busy yesterday. We've started our LDA, and there's so much to do when you're starting a company here in Portugal. But we've made some really great progress. We've got a fantastic new bank, which is really important. And I was saying this last night, actually. Having the right people to work with, a great accountant, a great consultant in Raquel, and now a great bank. You need a team, don't you, when you're running a business or migrating for that matter in Portugal. And we've been blessed to get to know some really great people. And the most recent of those are Philippe, Vanessa, and Mara. A shout out to the Al Fezaral Millennium BCP crew. I didn't expect to be saying that. I mean, people are very, you hear very negative feedback about the brands, the banking brands here in Portugal. But the thing to do is not to try and find out which is the best brand, but find the best people within that brand, within that bank. And when you found them, look after them. They are worth their weight in gold, because they'll be able to help you. And it will be such a godsend when you find yourself in a difficult situation, as you might do occasionally in a bank, because it's, you get locked out of your online banking or this, that, or the other, or some strange charges or whatever cyber stuff happening. You need to be able to speak to someone who will be happy to help you. And maybe if they've got a bit of English in those sort of situations, medical, financial, it's nice to have the reassurance, isn't it, that somebody can help you in English when you're a bit stressed out. But that's not to stop you learning more Portuguese. It's not an excuse not to speak Portuguese, but it's nice in those emergency and difficult situations to be able to speak a bit of English. So look after and treasure those people, those professionals that you find, and recommend them to us and other people, if you will. That's what we're all about at the Portugal Club, is the life hacks here in Portugal. So if you found great people, great services, great products, experiences, events, whatever, let us know. Portuguese pains, Portuguese pleasures. We're interested in those every day, all day, every day at the Portugal Club. And this is where Portugal Club is where I'm showing you this Portuguese citizenship test. Question number 44 this morning. I know this. I can hear Peter saying this, shouting at the screen this morning. Which mountain range? I wanted the answer to be Peneda Gerês. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But which mountain range is home to Portugal's highest peak? Serra da Estrela, who doesn't like a high peak first thing in the morning? Is it the Peneda Gerês? Is it Tor? Or is it Montesinho? Do let me know. Where are you, Virginia? I imagine Virginia will be voting on that very soon. And I'm not sure if you watched the show, Virginia, but you're certainly a great participant over at the Portugal Club. So shout out to you. Anyone who knows Virginia, say we were talking about on the Portuguese on the Good Morning Portugal show, if you will. And there's the link for it into the chat. Do you know what? I'm going to make a. Actually, if you use that QR code, I was going to make a special QR code. If you use that QR code that's top right, you'll be able to go through. If you want a bit of fun and do it a different way this morning, you can go through to the Portugal Club using that QR code that's on the screen right now. I used to know Jasmine. What's this? I used to know Jasmine Harmon from A Place in the Sun. Told me Portugal is her favourite. Knew her Greek Cypriot mum too. Look at you! 6 degrees and all that. Exactly, Raji. Good morning to you. Vera Tome in Millennium has been very helpful to me. Is that a which branch is that? Do let us know. Wouldn't it be wonderful if these workers in Portuguese banks, one day they're going about their business, and I don't think it's an easy job. It's got harder and harder, hasn't it, to work in a corporate bank, I suspect. Add the Gardunya to that list. I think it's too late now. No, stop it, Matty, causing trouble. Come on, I thought you liked rules. It's three options. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, wouldn't it be lovely if in a Portuguese bank, a foreigner rocks up and says, "Do you know what, Vera? I heard about you on the Good Morning Portugal show and how lovely you are, and you might be able to help me. Can you please help me? Pode ser ajuda-me." So yeah, check out Vera. Go to see Philippe. Go to see Vanessa, Mara, all our friends in Portuguese banks. I'm not a big fan of Urabic and a banker, but it was the people in the bank in Korea. Senhora Estrela, funnily enough, a little bit of a clue there. She was so helpful to us, and there was always that, how are you? How's your family? You're overdrawn, that sort of thing. Lisbon introduced to me through. Oh, they're in Lisbon. Introduced to me through EI. Of course, Carl introduced me to EI. My pleasure to do so. Yeah, fascinating. Hanging out with. She was knackered. I'll be honest with you. I said to her, "How are you today? How's your day been?" And she's like, "Yep." Was this all she could manage? But once we cranked her into action, we heard her. We got her professional insight and how peed off she is as well. And Daniel said, "Yes, I'm seeing you speaking up and out on Facebook, on social media. It's a threshold. It's a watershed for Gilda, who has up until now not been very vocal about the situation, but she's taken to social media to let off a bit of steam." Big up Korea. Big up yourselves, Koreans, as in Curia. Do you know what, Andero? Sorry we didn't get to meet up on that visit. It was a flying visit up to Porto to a wedding. But we stopped off to see the old place for lunch on the way there. Cafe Kinabiba, one of our old stomping grounds, and the lovely Christina. And I went into the Urubik Abanca Bank there, and it was so nice to visit Korea. What a lovely place that is. If you're looking for a place that is quite flat and quiet and isn't a hotspot of Lisbon or Porto as somewhere to live on the railway line, get to other parts of the country very easily near the A1, check out Korea. You might want to thank me later for that. It's a great place, isn't it, Andero? Okay, that's your Portuguese citizenship test question number 44 right there. Let's have a look at this this news story then. Where do the Portuguese look for news? This might be a bit of an eye-opener, as was the webinar last night. This whole thing about Portuguese wills, what can happen with enforced heirship. Yes, which sounds like a concept album from the 1970s, as in HEIR. Don't make assumptions that how things are in your native country will be anything like they are when it comes to wills and estate planning here in Portugal. So watch the webinar on Sunday, should be released around 6 o'clock. Sharing a different screen with you now. Where do Portuguese look for news? This is fascinating and distinguishes the Portuguese. So part of me Portugalizing myself, and honestly, what's going on? I invited you earlier on this morning to send ideas in. This is a production meeting for the Portugal-ise me idea. I've got me pastel de nata, I've got me canela there, and I've got my Portuguese hat on. Not had a single idea this morning on what we might get up to in the Portugalization process. So please do let me know what you're thinking there, the shenanigans we could get up to and have some fun in the Portugal-ise me process, which I hope will be a documentary or even a film. Forgot to show you this yesterday and nearly forgot again today. The citizenship test question thing is important. In Switzerland, for example, Sarah Davies sent me this from Spartan FX. If in Switzerland, one requirement for citizenship is knowing your cheeses. Now, I don't think it'll be the same here in Portugal. Probably the requirement, would it be knowing your wines? It'll be food. It will be food related, I suspect. In 2018, a British cafe owner in Zurich was denied citizenship because he couldn't name the canton where raclette originated. That's harsh, but you might say, well, fair enough. You know, if you want people to immerse themselves and know about the culture, he should have known which canton raclette originated in. The British cafe owner in Zurich probably might have been serving fish and chips and they're making them a full English there and not raclette, perhaps. But, you know, we might be heading that way here in Portugal. So we're doing you a service with the Portuguese citizenship test. If you want to see questions 1 to 43, they're all up there at the Portugal Club. And we've had today's, of course, here on the Good Morning Portugal show, which was a quick reminder, which mountain range is home to Portugal's highest peak? Serra da Estrela Mountain, is it, or the highest peak, that is? Yeah, it is a mountain, isn't it? Peneda Gerês, the peak of a mountain. Peneda Gerês, B, Tor, or C, Montezinho. Right, Portuguese then. 80% thereof. Oh, I need to take that off the screen, don't I? So you can see what we're talking about this morning in anticipation of Claire McGonigal joining us and talk about homeschooling. I think we'll extend that conversation on homeschooling to talk about education in general, because really, who knows how to educate children at the moment? If, let's say, they are entering education at age, what is it now? 2 or 1.5? 6 months. it's got younger and younger, hasn't it? It used to be 5, did it not? Back in the old days, you would go to school at 5. Now you're into kindergarten or nursery or before school club, after school club, etc. Much earlier than that. And you're at school until you're what, 25, 35, 45, 55 for some people doing postgrad. What are people learning, and how relevant is it to the world they will be going into? I don't think there's ever been a more uncertain time in relation to what I just said there about how we're preparing children and what for. It does seem, and it's always been the way, isn't it? Is that children are educated at 5, let's say, to be in a world that exists now. But of course, by the time they get into that world, it will be some 13 years later. And can you imagine how much the world will have changed in 13 years' time from now? If you look at how much it's changed in the last 13 years, this is exponential change we're going through at the moment for humanity. Plus all the cultural distinctions and peculiarities of what it will be like to be a child growing up in Europe or Africa or North America, South America, Asia. So we should have a rich conversation about education, and we have a particular homeschooling angle from Claire. Anyway, until she gets here, let's have a quick look at this article here. Where do Portuguese look for news in contrast to the European reality? And now I take issue already with this article. I don't think you can really have news and reality within that proximity to each other. The news is not reality, folks. The news to me is somebody's idea about reality, their editorialization, their judgment, and with the best will in the world, their view of something they probably didn't even see themselves, and now they're telling you about it, so you can talk to other people about it or think about it for yourself without having been anywhere near it either. How stupid is that? The Portuguese continue to mention to young people, talking of young people in schooling, do young people watch the news, or how do they? I mean, I suppose the point of news is to get a sense of what's going on in the world, right? But what is that now? Okay, the Portuguese continue to mention television as a more reliable source of information, even among younger people. Okay, so the Portuguese youngsters like the goggle box as well. 80% of Portuguese still turn to television for information on social and political issues. Yes, the figure is above the European average, where 71% of citizens choose television. Still a lot, isn't it? The European average, 71% of people looking to the TV to find out what's going on socially and politically. These findings are contained in the Eurobarometer. Give that a tap. Social media survey of 2025, quoted by Echo. That's ECO, the news source. The second most popular, they've got a vested interest. I suppose anyone talking about this in the news is the news, and they will have a vested interest in a particular angle on this. The second most popular source of information for the Portuguese is newspapers, still strong, 46%, whether printed or on their respective websites. Newspapers are followed by browsers at 43%, radio 42%, people in their circle of friends, family, and acquaintances, should they still be talking to them? Oh, no, sorry, that's Portugal we're talking about, not America or UK. 41%, and social media at 40%. So quite high figures. My guest in a little while, Claire, I would have thought would be scoffing at this and eschewing the situation of using a third party, any kind of media, this morning, and may want to talk about it when she joins us. Preferring instead, and I do too, taking the information of our senses in our own little worlds, which might be seen as quite sort of insular, introspective, and possibly downright selfish. But it is the most real thing occurring to us, isn't it? Is what is happening through our senses, and not homogenous choice, I think, as we will go on to find out more about here. In Portugal, television is considered the most reliable source of information. I want to see Claire's face as I'm reading this out, but I can't. I'm not sure I can. Oh, yes, I can if I... No, I can't do a full screen and see her reactions to this that I'm reading out. In Portugal, television is considered the most reliable source of information across all age groups, with 69% of respondents aged 15 to 24 choosing to watch news on TV. This contrasts with the majority of respondents in the European Union, where 65% of respondents in the same age group indicate social media as their preferred means of accessing news content. It's got to be true. It's on the social media. The preference for television increases with age. It's easier, isn't it, than scrolling, all that hard work scrolling. All you have to do is turn it on and just sit there and be subjected to other people's opinions. With 70% of Portuguese people aged 25 to 39 preferring TV, 60% in the EU compared to 60% across the EU. 81% of Portuguese people aged 40 to 54. That's a 71% comparison in the EU, and 88% of Portuguese people aged 55 or older. That's our demographic here, comparing to 82% in the EU. With social media, according to Echo, regarding social media, Facebook, 59% is the most used social media platform by the Portuguese for accessing news. What could possibly go wrong? Followed by Instagram at 53%, YouTube at 48%, and WhatsApp and TikTok tied with 28% of choices. I was going to say YouTube, you stand a better bet, don't you, of getting what you want. But still, it's all, everyone's working for YouTube and not the other way around, right? Whether you're a viewer or a producer. At the generational level, only respondents aged 15 to 24 indicated Instagram as the most used app for accessing news. Still haven't got into that. Among subsequent generations, the answer is unanimous with a preference for Facebook. I believe some people have got a negative attention span now. So it's down to like minus a second, where you don't even look at anything before you come up with an opinion about it. And that's growing. It'll be -3 by the end of the year, I'm sure. Preferred formats on social media, the majority, 50% of the Portuguese, prefer to consume news content about society or politics in short text posts, as in like, yeah, it's rubbish, using images with short text and status updates, i.e. not long form, not reading long and difficult things to consume. This is followed by interesting videos up to 5 minutes long. Wow! And videos under 1 minute at 37%, videos up to 5 minutes, 42%. Regarding following digital influencers, oh, hold on. Let me see what this says. The Portuguese are above the European average, with 43% of respondents saying they follow content from influencers or content creators on social media platforms such as YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. In the EU, the average is 5% points lower than Portugal's at 37%. And 100% of people have seen at least 5 Portuguese videos and think everything he says is true. I made that last bit up. Regarding disinformation, the Portuguese are above the European average in how often they believe they have been exposed to disinformation or fake news. 14% believe they are exposed to fake news very often, a 2% increase when compared to the European average. 25% of Portuguese respondents indicate they are exposed to fake news frequently. That's 23% of the EU. And 33, a third of Portuguese people, say they have access to fake content. Sometimes it's enjoyable when you know it is and you could laugh about it, but I guess the problem is when people don't know necessarily. But what is fake news anyway? Let's not get into that right now. 33% say they have access to fake content sometimes and 14% rarely. In both responses, the Portuguese average is 2% above the European average. Very interesting. So liking TV, but being a little bit more sensitive to the fakery, it would appear, for the Portuguese people. Are there any comments? No, not yet on that. That surprises me over on the Portugal news. And we seem to have a side. Claire might be having a lie down here. Let's bring her onto the screen and find out what's going on here. Are you still in bed?
Sideways?
Yes, you are. What have you been drinking?
God.
Have you been
God, do you need me to turn me the other way round?
I do. Stop
Oh, I don't know how I can do that.
Oh, that's great. I thought you'd been on the kombucha and needed to lie down for a minute.
No, the L'Orange liqueur.
What, this morning?
No.
Okay.
Tea this morning.
Very good. We don't judge anyway. It's up to you. If you want to drink L'Orange liqueur, you go ahead. In fact, I might, if you invite me, I might come and do that with you for my new idea, Portugal-ise Me, where I do authentic Portuguese things. And I'm thinking drinking orange liqueur with my coffee in the morning might be one of those things to do, Claire.
Okay, it's usually agrident with your coffee, but orange liqueur is agrident and oranges.
I'll do both, just for the sake of fairness and balance. I will subject myself to both, and then seek forgiveness in church on Sunday, which also is a Portugalization process, I suspect. How are you, Claire? What's going on in your world?
Oh gosh, so much. I'm good. I can't Well, there's a lot going on in the background of my world. I'm making more videos. I'm editing one at the minute about wine. And then I'll go back to fitness because I have a new fitness regime. It's wonderful.
I'd like to hear more about that. Let's talk about that now before we forget then. So you,
Absolutely.
with Fantastic 50s, as I
Uh-huh.
recall, there were a number of principles that were key to that, and you did use a particular exercise form, which, if I remember correctly, was the Canadian Air Force. Is that right?
Yeah, the XBX 10 basic exercises XBX workout that Helen Mirren does. So it's for older women. Well, it's for younger women as well. It just depends what level you get to. There's chart 2 level 17. That I think that's the where I got up to.
Right. Okay.
For my age, I was above average, which I am. You know?
And have you received a promotion in the Canadian Air Force yet?
No, I'm not a pilot yet.
Okay. All right. So you're working on that. So what's the new exercise thing?
Okay, it's all about strength training, lymphatic drainage, and just being strong in your 50s. Being strong. Strength is the new skinny, to be honest.
Yes. Now, Coach Turner's been all over this. His 3 pillars in the God Squad program are strength, stamina, and oh my God, I will fight. Coach, are you still there? Speed, strength, and stamina. But by speed we mean velocity, not some sort of artificial stimulant to help you in your old age. But he was on
No
something.
comment.
Building. Oh, those were the days. Building strength. Building strength in the body. Why didn't we think of this before? I mean, I guess some people were thinking it, but not people seem to accept becoming feeble and flaccid an inevitability in old age, right?
No, but it's just that's the way you fall down, break a hip, end up in hospital, and you're on the Liverpool care pathway and dead. There we go.
Yeah.
It's a small summary.
Wow. Right. Okay. That's a bit different to going to Switzerland, I guess. But yes, we don't want that. We don't want that, which you are talking about. So what's the protocol? What's the approach? What's the practicality?
Okay, so I watch a woman called Barbara O'Neill. She's outstanding. Have you heard of her?
I've heard of her. Yeah.
She's my guru, my goddess. Oh, I just love her. She's wonderful. So she does lymphatic drainage. So all your body there's lots of lymph nodes everywhere. Okay, and they become clogged up with toxins, and you need to drain them. And people get lymphatic drain massages. Have you heard of those?
I've done it. I am a trained massage therapist. And
me too. But I've just dropped you. Me too. But only in facial, décolletage, and legs and arms. I don't do the
MLD, manual lymphatic drainage, is an art form in its own right, isn't it? And very gentle it can be as well. And you need to know what you're doing. And devices are available. I used to work with a machine called the Chi machine back in the day, and that would wobble you and increase lymphatic flow. And it's a part of our biology. We know about blood because we see it from time to time, don't we? But you don't know. You do see lymph, don't you? With certain wounds, but it's clear. It's less known, but it's vitally important, as you seem to be saying.
So if I told you you could drain your lymph nodes in 3 minutes a day.
Can you? Oh, okay.
Rebounding.
What are you doing in there? I'm just draining my lymph nodes. I won't be long.
It's rebounding. So every time you bounce up and down on a little trumpeter rebounder, you are doing your lymph nodes the world of good. And it's incredible. So that's what I do most days now. And that's 3 minutes of exercise. And then I've got a weight bench, and I train out with weights. And now I love kickboxing. I started kickboxing when I was 23.
Did you?
Yes. And I've got a white belt, and they don't give it to you when you turn up on the first day.
No. Okay. So you had to work hard for that, by the sound of it.
I had to work for my white belt, and then it fell by the wayside. My friend didn't want to train anymore, and I didn't have anyone to train with, so I let that slide. But then I got back into it a couple of years ago, just for 45 minutes twice a week, and it makes you feel wonderful. But I saw Temu, other outlets are available. There is a boxing machine. There's a little boxing machine you hang on your wall, and it's like Simon Says, but you got to punch it. Oh, well, it gets the aggression out, and it's amazing. So I'm up to 300 hits. So I'm hitting this little machine that's lighting up, and I'm playing my music through Bluetooth, and I'm punching it to the eye of the tiger. I just love my morning routine. It's awesome.
Yeah, but imagine that situation in your kitchen. I mean, God
No,
help
it's in my bedroom. I've got a gym in my bedroom.
Right, okay.
I've got a big bedroom, so.
Right. It's sounding a bit like a dating profile suddenly.
No, I am dating one man, so, but yeah, we won't go into that.
All right, okay, fine. It's just like I've got my gym in my bedroom.
Yes.
and my boxing machine. So, right. What you do in your private
in the
life
privacy of your own bedroom.
Your business. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's great. And yeah, the trampette.
Barbara O'Neill swears by it, and what she swears by, I follow, because she is amazing.
Well, in the world of fitness, it's quite unforgiving, isn't it? Like, you're not going to take advice from somebody who's coughing and wheezing and, saying this is what you should do. They need to be in good shape, don't they? Unlike doctors,
Absolutely.
for example. Yeah.
Won't go there, yeah. Give you some pills and then the side effects for more pills for the side effects, and then you're just on a downward spiral.
That's right. Give me what you're having, Doc. Well, here's some whiskey. You want a cigarette with that? Okay, sorry, it's a bit unfair. It's a bit unfair, but you get the point. I mean,
not all doctors are the same, but hydration and nutrition. We were never taught this. The food pyramid is all upside down. It's meat is good for you. Sorry, vegans. I do like vegetarian food now and again, but also butter is good for you, and olive oil. Someone said food was only invented so you could get olive oil on it and get it into your body. Olive oil is key. Everyone's doing their olives today. So
that sounds very Portuguese to me. Very interesting, and yeah. The sense I got from what you're talking about with the boxing, with the rebounding, with the manual, when you feel that level of movement energetically in your body, it's so good, isn't it? And compare and contrast that with a modern lifestyle of sat in the same position for hours on end. You're not going to get that, and human beings weren't designed for that, were they? Let's face it.
We were designed we're hunter-gatherers, so we're designed to go outside, bend down, squat, reach up. We're not designed to sit in an office behind a desk. That's no life. Not that your life is not great, Carl, but you don't sit there all day, every day.
If I can, I do. But I have distractions. There are things that need me elsewhere. Walking the dog, playing with the kids. We were out late last night. They're running about on the beach late last night. It's fantastic.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I still win when we have the family sprint. My lad, who's 14 at the weekend, I'm still beating him, and that is.
I beat. In the boxing, my daughter, eldest daughter, Stephanie, she used to come to the kickboxing with me. I used to beat her in squats and everything. And seemingly, you get your athleticism from your mum. So you've got your mum to thank, and she's got her mum to thank, which is...
I've never seen my mum do anything athletic. That's not apart from spanking me.
Oh, hey, it's a form of exercise. I've done that before.
Never did me any harm. I'll bring it up with my therapist later. Right. Okay. So that's great. You're going into the more of the world of strength and rebounding. That sounds fantastic. Today, however, you suggested talking about education, and of course,
I did.
This should be part of education. Exercise and how
absolutely should be.
You would think that would be lesson number one, right? You've been given a miraculous, beautiful body. Here's how to use it and look after it. That's lesson number one, isn't it?
They don't teach you in school what you need for life. I'm very disappointed in school. Absolutely.
Still
disappointed. But I did get my athleticism from school. There was lots of school there was lots of a gym at my primary school, as in races, and it was a big day, and the mums race, and I love gymnastics at school, and
Yeah.
it
Wednesday
gave me a
afternoon.
passion for it. Netball and
Yeah, fantastic. Sorry, I was distracted there. We've got somebody called Portugal-ise. Now, I remember this name. They're saying just can't place them at the moment. It's been a while. Portuguese olive oil is a type of life extender.
absolutely.
What Portuguese is saying. Very good to see you. Excellent to see you, Lord Gilchrist, who that actually is behind the screens. Let's have a little bit of a look at the comments to see how people have responded already to
Absolutely.
your presence, and then we'll talk more about education. We've got because I was mentioning before, the preface for me with this is we live in an exponentially changing world. What a 5-year-old entering school now, if indeed they are 5, and they're probably 1.5 when they're entering the system, aren't they now, or 1 or 6 months, something like that. They will be given an education that's geared to them leaving school in 15 years' time, 13 years' time. All bets are off, aren't they? What the world might look like in 30. How can you possibly
Who
create a
knows?
curriculum, like a knowledge curriculum, for the
Mm-hmm.
world of 13 years from now? That's if they leave
No
school at
one
18
can.
or 16 even. You know, this is a long time in terms of how much things are going to change, and we don't have that crystal
Absolutely.
ball. So you might expect that we do life skills rather than world skills, because the world will
No,
be
they
no.
don't.
Okay, it's
They
still.
don't.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, they've got to do something all day long, haven't they? You know, because it's childcare in our industrialized world. That's what school is in large part, isn't it? In the
Well, I've looked into school so much because I educated my second daughter she never went to secondary school. She went to primary school, and they do teach you how to read and write. And to be honest, she has better punctuation and spelling than I have. She really does. But I was taught ITA. Were you taught ITA?
I don't even know what that is. What is
It's
ITA?
it's a horrible way to spell and learn how to read and write. And I was only there for 1 year, but it absolutely messed up me being able to spell. ITA, it's horrible. Don't do it. But my reading age is always above average. But my spelling is atrocious. Even that I know and understand words, but my spelling of them is terrible. And I blame school, ITA. So with my with education, they don't teach you life skills. We used to have cookery, which was great. We used to have sewing. We used to have a sewing class. It's all gone now. You need to. My grandma's age was make, do, and mend. You need to learn how to live on less and live on what your means are. And if you haven't got a lot, then throwaway society is awful with fast fashion and. Don't like it. Don't like the modern world. I want to go back to the old days. Learn how to cook. Learn how to manage your house. Learn about money. They never teach you about finances because they want you dependent on a job when you should be dependent on yourself, able to make your own money, self-sufficient in money management. They don't teach you about compound interest or finances, or they just want you to be subservient to the.
Fractional reserve lending, for that matter.
There we go.
Okay, this is the new curriculum as being designed live by
Claire.
Fantastic 50s curriculum here.
Education should be cooking. It should be growing your own food. It should be exercise, how to maintain your body, how to maintain a healthy mind, how to maintain a healthy relationship. We don't get taught life skills.
How
Those
to
are
maintain a healthy
fundamental.
relationship. I really could have done with that.
Me too. Many times.
In my teenage years, in my 20s. Oh, and my 30s.
Absolutely.
Oh, and my 40s. Thankfully, I've made a little bit of progress on that matter.
Me too, mid-50s.
You know what? Where this curriculum is, interestingly, Claire, is this wouldn't be a bad aspiration, would it? You want to be fit fantastic and fulfilled
Healthy.
in your 50s. That's a
Yes.
good goal to have, isn't it? Rather than trying to educate people for a world we have no idea what it will look like. I don't think spelling's
Yes.
going to be a problem for much longer, quite frankly. You're
No.
excused. You're excused learning how to spell
I
because it's
don't
that.
mind not being able to spell. It doesn't bother me now, but I should have been taught better.
All right, you can't let that go, can you? You're still a bit mad with the ITA teachers there. Okay, let's have a few more comments here. So it's 7 in Scandinavia, and they seem to get the best results. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I was homeschooled for 3 years, says Mel. There are great advantages, but also disadvantages. Depending, of course, like with anything, right?
Of course.
Nothing is being proposed as a panacea or a silver bullet or anything. We need to discuss these things, and that's what we're doing this morning. Mine is Diario de Coimbra with a drink at the local bar. Oh, that's how you get your information. Surely most of us like a big variety first thing in the morning. Absolutely. X, Twitter, not too much of that. It can make you send you doolally watching too much X, as I've discovered. Lots of news sources have a linked video. Oh, it's rich and multimedia now, isn't it? Capricorn, Quinto Gregos, what's up? He's shouting out to the man cavers there, I think. Strength is critical, as you were saying. Yeah. It's wet in Lisbon this morning. I'm assuming you're in Lisbon and not in the other capital, Heathrow or somewhere like that. It always feels wet in Heathrow, whatever time of year or whatever the weather's like. Wet and grey. Correct. Strength, stamina, and speed. I just put myself on the spot and I couldn't remember for a moment. What about exercises for us men? All right, we'll come back to that. As is mobility, strength, speed, stamina, flexibility, I guess, is being promoted there. Hi, Squire. Good to see you this morning. Same applies, Adrian. We'll come back to you. 60 plus men. And who doesn't like a drained décolletage first thing in the morning?
Beautiful.
Boxing is a speed activity. Claire is certainly on the right track. You got the God Squad thumbs up there from the coach.
Thank you.
Yeah. Portuguese foil. Oh, it's the day of the witches as well today. It's Halloween here in Portugal, isn't it?
All Saints Day. All Saints Day.
Isn't that tomorrow? Isn't it the 1st of November? We go into
that. Yes. No, you're right. No, you're right. Corrected.
Kids knock on your door and ask for bread from God tomorrow. So get some sweet. They don't want actually bread. They want sweets, just so you know. We are going to a party tonight, so we're off to the Chinese shop to get some clobber. Yes, he's going to get his French maid's outfit from the Chinese shop. You're going to look fabulous, Sandera. Peter's here. Bon dia to you, Peter. Don't tell me that kids don't like competition. I think that's some of them do.
They love competition.
Yeah, it's finding the right sort of competition, isn't it? So you stay in the game, I guess. My mother was a figure skater for Canada, but can't say I'm that. But that's where, if you study that lineage, you might reinvent yourself, Torval and Dean style. School is an exposure to various subjects. It's designed to help you choose or find your calling or not. How's that working for people at the moment? I mean, I get it. That, to me, that's a classical education. Exposure.
I wish they would.
Yes, it's a great idea, but somehow that's breaking down, isn't it? With quite a few kids leaving school, not knowing what they're doing. So yeah, an interesting point there, Portuguese, from a classical point of view. I hated competition. What is it called? The Prussian system that we've inherited now. Hated competition against other people as a kid. Truly traumatized me. Many reasons why kids can hate competition. Love competing against myself, though. Yeah, right. Kind of.
That's good.
The problem is that children develop at different rates. Many are simply not ready before age 7. Let them play, and then put them in a massive room. No, actually, put them in a small room with 30 others of the same age. What could possibly go wrong? That's a very diverse approach, is it not? It's not. I like the Japanese school system. No exams until teenage. Yeah. A better system would be none at all, right? The kids help cook the lunches, clean the building, lots of play and art.
I've seen that. Yes, I've seen that. That is cute. And teaching them life skills.
But bloody hell, pardon my French, that used to be called a family.
It did.
Helping cook the lunches and clean the building and lots of play. That's being a kid
Chores.
at home.
Chores.
No.
And they say the children who grow up doing chores are more well-rounded.
My eldest, he loves to cook. I call him Gordon. He comes, he says, that might need a bit more balance of flavour. I'm saying, get out of my kitchen. When you're cooking, you can come up with fancy stuff like that.
More
But
salts,
I'm
Dad.
just yeah. No one teaches real world finances in schools, subprime loans, tax loopholes.
Exactly.
Teaching tax loopholes. Is that
Bring
what
it
you're
on.
okay.
Bring it on.
On canals? We highly push make do and mend, and we also still heavily barter. I'm with Jill to teach the kids
I
handcrafts.
love that.
I'm available to teach. There's an offer. Okay, Mel, I would generalize, which of course is one of the problems with schools. We got you though, mea culpa. However, I found that by understanding each individual, you can make competition fun for everyone. Thank you. We knew what you meant there, I think, Coach. Friend educated her 5 children by distance learning at home, mostly. What, was she down the shops while they were at home? That's most. I'm kidding, Adrian. Mostly using Amish materials. Oh,
Ooh,
I bet they could probably look after horses
I like
and
that.
they know how to drive a horse-drawn buggy. Cooperating with her local authority, Hounslow,
Wow.
whilst living in Russia. Yes, don't forget to cooperate with your local authority, for whom you probably have the greatest respect. Local and national politicians, you want them telling you how to educate your children because they've got all the best ideas, of course. Whilst in Russia, Serbia, and Greece, secondary in Greece, it's Celtic New Year in Celtia. Where is Celtia?
Oh, I
Is
don't
that all
know.
of is that the massed nations of the Celts, perhaps? Kids like competition, but modern schooling, thinking everyone wins, stark difference from our days. Aye, when you had to be out running naked before
Freezing.
and beaten with a brush on your way back to classroom. Oh my God, Portuguese, you sound like an old fart. But then again, so am I probably this morning. Right. So yeah, homeschooling. You're an
Yeah,
advocate. You have personal experience.
absolutely. I've done it.
What would you
I've
say?
done it, and then my daughter, she studied what she wanted to study rather than what was forced upon her.
Mhm.
So she became a digital artist. This is what she was interested in, art. So she's a digital artist now doing animation. And when she went from home education in Portugal to Britain, where we had to move to for a while, I came back because I didn't want to be there anymore. So she's still there, but she went to Carlisle College, and the tutor did an open day to learn about the course, and the tutor looked at her portfolio that we put together and said, "That's it, you're in. I'm offering you a place. I don't need to interview you. I can see from your work that you are great for my course." And the next stage, when she went to Newcastle College, and they said, "Yeah, you're brilliant." And she had to do GCSE maths and English in the College of Carlisle because she hadn't taken those exams, but that's all they wanted to do, and she passed them. So home education was amazing for her.
Work for her, and I suppose
Absolutely.
one question we're avoiding, and there's a context to this, of course, in the world we live in. But one question that gets avoided, I think, is the child happy and fulfilled? Because you would be forgiven for thinking that would be the main output you're looking for, right, from an education. But nobody asks that anymore. It seems to me, with industrialized education, what's being asked is the child fitting into the system, and I think it's fair to say that most kids aren't, are they? I mean, the trend is away from fitting in, not towards fitting in and conforming, and producing an rounded individual by the end. We're not seeing that, are we?
No. You're seeing dysfunctional adults who can't read and write. And if the school is not there to help them read and write, what is it there for? That is basic education. And they're not providing that. Lots of children coming out of British, I'm talking British, I'm not talking Portuguese, British schools are not getting the right education, and they're not getting one-to-one. My son, he was dyslexic, and I told them when he was 3, I said, he's dyslexic. His dad was dyslexic. My other daughter was 2 years older, and she had no problem reading and writing at 3 because I taught her at home, because I think to read and write is the fundamentals of everything. So I told them at 3 he was dyslexic. At 7, they gave him a test. 7. So for 4 years, he was in that school, and they didn't, well, it was as if they didn't care about his needs. and his education. And he missed the mark from being helped by 1%. So when his age went up to 8,
No.
yes, 1%. So when his age went up to 8 and they tested him again, he was covered. But from 8 to 10, they gave him some extra education and to another school where he on a weekly basis was helped. But I told them since he was 3 in nursery, I knew.
Parents know.
So for 5 years, nothing. No help whatsoever.
Here's the thing. Always fantastic talking to you. We've talked our way into the next hour, and we've overrun our. We always do this, don't we, Claire? But theirs is a numbers game. It has to be. That's not a criticism. That's just how it works on an industrial basis. It's all about numbers. It's not about the individual. It's very difficult to give a truly child-centered education, I would have thought, when you're dealing with hundreds and thousands of children. Of course it is. However, when I first looked into home education and wanted to understand education more generally, and I think this probably goes back 30 plus years now, I went to a conference by an organisation called Education Otherwise. And one of the speakers at this conference, it was in Sheffield a long time ago, and this woman said, your child's education takes place mainly outside of school. That's perhaps what you might want to focus on. And that's why I think in many ways the kids are standing a pretty good chance here in Portugal. Their education is community and family as much as it is school, right? And I think there is quite a fulfilling, nurturing environment from a family point of view in Portugal, which makes these kids pretty. I was really amazed when I first came to Portugal, being on a bus with school kids. I'm thinking, I'm going to die here on this bus, and I've not had a chance to say goodbye to my family, thinking it was going to be like England on the back of a bus from my own. But and they were high spirited, but they were really respectful. And when I stood up, when an adult comes near, it's like, Sculpa Colli Sensor, it's like they're in their own little exuberant world, but with a great deal of respect for adults. That was my experience.
That's missing in England, absolutely.
Is it? Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, so it's more than school, isn't it? Education is definitely more than school, as you've discovered there. What's your final thought then? Maybe education for us oldies, because you don't stop being educated, do you?
I love to learn. I want to learn. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is key to living life. My final thought would be strength of mind, strength of body, because and they say your legs are key to your life, because you're either sitting down, but when you're standing up and walking, your legs have to be your strength. And as I said, if you fall over when you're in your 80s, so to train your legs to be the strongest they can be is paramount to living a long, happy, healthy life.
Fabulous. Strength, the order of the day. Thank you so much, Claire. Thank you to Andy for sending in those videos and pics of us on the telly. Me and Andy, of course, have been on A Place in the Sun. We'll get those.
I can't wait to watch it.
Oh, it was great. It was great fun. Thank you, Jackie. I'll come back to you on your comments, and we'll pick them up from Monday when we go into a new week. And thanks, Coach. Well, I'm going to make this the final video. We'll go out with this. But thanks, Dave. You got any nice plans for the weekend?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, always. I just can't say them on air.
Oh, that sounds great. Okay, well, I think it might involve boxing in the bedroom, but let's leave that. Let's just leave that hanging there, and we'll play an outro video from the coach this morning. Thank you. This is the answer to our Portuguese citizenship test question, apparently. So thank you very much, Coach, for this. Thank you, Claire. Thank you, everybody, this morning for being here. Bom fim de semana.
Bom fim de semana. Ciao.